Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni. 120 verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. Even a good person sees evil so long as good ripens not. But when it bears fruit, then the good one sees the good results. This verse was spoken by the Blessed One during his time at Jetavana Monastery, in connection with a true story of a virtuous disciple who, despite living righteously, continued to encounter misfortune and hardship. Many people around him doubted the law of karma and questioned why goodness seemed unrewarded. Seeing the confusion in their hearts, the Buddha compassionately taught this verse to reveal the deep and subtle truth of cause and effect, showing that wholesome deeds require time to mature, just as seeds need seasons to bear fruit. Through this teaching, the Buddha opened the eyes of beings to patience, faith, and unwavering trust in moral causality. Beloved Dharma friends, when we reflect deeply on this verse, we begin to understand a truth that challenges our ordinary way of seeing life. Human beings often judge goodness and evil by immediate appearances. When someone acts kindly yet still faces suffering, criticism, illness, or loss, we easily fall into doubt. We ask why virtue does not protect them, and why those who seem dishonest or cruel sometimes appear successful and comfortable. The Buddha teaches us to look beyond the surface of time. Karma does not operate according to human impatience. Wholesome actions are like seeds planted in fertile soil. At first, the ground looks unchanged. The farmer may wonder if anything is happening. But beneath the soil, unseen by the eye, roots are forming, strength is gathering, and life is quietly preparing to emerge. In the same way, goodness is never lost. It is silently shaping conditions, refining the heart, and preparing causes that will one day manifest as peace and joy. The Buddha did not deny that good people may encounter suffering. Instead, he explained why this happens. Past unwholesome actions, accumulated over many lifetimes, may still be bearing fruit. Present goodness does not immediately erase old causes, just as fresh water poured into a muddy pond takes time to become clear. When a practitioner understands this, resentment fades. Complaints dissolve. What remains is patience rooted in wisdom. Such patience is not weakness. It is a profound strength born from seeing reality as it truly is. A person who walks the path of virtue with this understanding does not abandon goodness when results are delayed. Instead, they continue forward with calm determination, knowing that the law of karma is precise and unfailing. The verse also gently reminds us not to misjudge others. When we see a wholesome person experiencing difficulty, we should not assume their practice is meaningless. Likewise, when we see someone acting unskillfully yet enjoying comfort, we should not envy them. The Buddha teaches that karma unfolds in layers across time, beyond the span of one lifetime. What we witness is only a small fragment of a vast continuum. To truly understand, we must cultivate humility and restraint in our judgments. This perspective softens the heart and nurtures compassion. We begin to wish well for all beings, understanding that each person is walking through the ripening of their own causes and conditions. As practitioners, this verse invites us to turn our attention inward. When goodness seems unrewarded, discouragement often arises. The mind whispers that kindness is naive and integrity is foolish. The Buddha's words counter this inner doubt. He reminds us that goodness transforms us long before it transforms our circumstances. Each wholesome action purifies the mind, strengthens clarity, and deepens inner freedom. Even before external results appear, the practitioner is already benefiting. The heart becomes lighter. Sleep becomes more peaceful. Fear gradually loosens its grip. These are subtle fruits that appear quietly, often unnoticed, yet they are signs that goodness is already bearing results within. The Dhamma encourages us to redefine what we consider success. Worldly success depends on conditions that constantly change. Dharma success is measured by the reduction of greed, hatred, and delusion. When these poisons diminish, suffering naturally decreases. A person established in virtue may still face challenges, but they meet them with balance rather than despair. They respond with understanding rather than anger. This inner transformation is the true fruit of goodness. The Buddha teaches that when the fruit fully ripens, clarity dawns. The practitioner looks back and sees that every act of patience, every moment of restraint, and every choice rooted in compassion was never wasted. This teaching also speaks to perseverance on the spiritual path. Many begin with enthusiasm, but when difficulties arise, faith wavers. The verse reminds us that consistency matters more than immediate reward. Just as a river shapes stone through steady flow, goodness reshapes our destiny through continuity. Each day of mindful living adds another drop to the stream. Eventually, the accumulated force becomes undeniable. Lives change, relationships heal, wisdom matures. These transformations do not announce themselves loudly. They reveal themselves gently, often in moments of quiet insight when we realize that our reactions have softened and our understanding has deepened. The Buddha's compassion shines through this verse. He understood the pain of practitioners who felt unseen by goodness. Rather than offering false comfort, he offered truth. He taught that the universe is governed by moral order, not randomness. This truth empowers us. When we trust karma, we no longer need to force outcomes. We focus on planting wholesome seeds and caring for them with mindfulness. We allow time to do its work. This trust brings serenity. It frees us from bitterness and comparison. It aligns our lives with a deeper rhythm that supports awakening. Beloved friends on the path, as we continue to contemplate this teaching, we are gently invited to look into our own hearts and observe how we relate to time, expectation, and effort. The human mind is often restless. It wishes to see results quickly to confirm that its efforts are worthwhile. When outcomes are delayed, doubt quietly arises, and doubt, if unattended, can erode faith. The Buddha understood this tendency with perfect clarity. That is why this verse is not merely a statement about karma, but a profound instruction on endurance, trust, and inner maturity. When goodness has not yet ripened, the good person may still encounter what appears to be evil. Yet this encounter is not a failure of goodness. It is part of the long unfolding of causes that stretch beyond what the eye can immediately see. In our daily lives, we often experience moments where we ask ourselves whether kindness truly matters. We may speak gently, yet receive harsh words in return. We may act honestly, yet feel taken advantage of. At such moments, the teaching of the Buddha becomes a refuge. He reminds us that karma is not a simple transaction completed within a single moment. It is a vast and intricate process shaped by intention, repeated action, and the deep habits of the mind. When wholesome intentions are established again and again, they slowly weaken old patterns rooted in ignorance. This weakening may feel uncomfortable, much like an illness healing from the inside. Pain may arise, but it is a sign that transformation is underway. The Buddha's wisdom encourages us to see difficulty not as punishment, but as purification. When a good person encounters hardship, it may be the final echo of past unwholesome actions losing their power. Because the mind is now rooted in virtue, these old results surface and dissolve rather than multiply. In contrast, when unwholesome actions are met with temporary comfort, it is often because past goodness is still bearing fruit. Once that reserve is exhausted, the consequences of present actions will inevitably appear. Understanding this protects us from confusion and despair. It helps us remain steady, even when appearances seem unfair. This verse also teaches us about patience as a spiritual quality. Patience in the Buddhist sense is not passive waiting. It is active endurance grounded in wisdom. It is the strength to continue walking the path without resentment, even when the road is uneven. A practitioner who cultivates patience learns to remain present with discomfort without being overwhelmed by it. They do not rush to escape difficulty through unskillful means. Instead, they use each experience as an opportunity to deepen understanding. In this way, even suffering becomes a teacher, guiding the mind toward greater clarity. As we mature in the Dhamma, our relationship with goodness changes. In the beginning, we may practice with the hope of receiving visible rewards. Over time, we discover a deeper joy that does not depend on recognition or success. This joy arises from alignment with truth. When our actions, speech, and thoughts are in harmony with wholesome principles, the heart experiences a quiet confidence. This confidence does not fluctuate with praise or blame. It is stable, grounded, and resilient. The Buddha points us toward this inner stability as the true measure of progress on the path. Another dimension of this teaching is compassion toward oneself. When good people face adversity, they may turn inward with self-blame, wondering if they are practicing incorrectly. The Buddha's words relieve this unnecessary burden. He teaches that difficulties are not always signs of failure. Often, they are signs of deep karmic processes coming to completion. When we understand this, we can meet ourselves with kindness rather than judgment. We continue to practice, not with harsh determination, but with gentle perseverance. This balance of effort and compassion is essential for long-term growth. The verse also invites us to reflect on the nature of time. In worldly life, time is often seen as an enemy, something that delays satisfaction. In the Dhamma, time is a collaborator. It allows causes to mature fully and results to appear naturally. Just as fruit picked too early is sour, goodness forced to show results prematurely cannot reveal its full sweetness. When we respect time, we respect the natural order. We learn to act skillfully in the present moment without grasping at the future. This attitude brings peace, because it frees us from constant anticipation and disappointment. In listening to the Buddha's teaching, we begin to sense a deep reassurance. The universe is not chaotic or unjust. It is governed by principles that support awakening. Every wholesome thought strengthens the path. Every moment of restraint protects the heart. Even when we cannot yet see the outcome, the direction is already set. This reassurance gives us courage. It allows us to continue practicing even when external circumstances remain challenging. We walk forward not because the path is easy, but because it is true. As this understanding settles into the heart, the practitioner's view of life becomes more spacious. We no longer divide experiences into success and failure so rigidly. Instead, we see them as expressions of unfolding karma. This perspective reduces fear. It softens clinging. It opens the door to equanimity. Equanimity does not mean indifference. It means meeting each experience with balanced awareness, neither grasping at pleasure nor resisting pain. This balance is a direct fruit of trusting the law of karma as taught by the Buddha. Ultimately, this verse points us toward freedom from doubt. Doubt is one of the great obstacles on the path. When doubt dissolves, effort becomes joyful, practice becomes steady, the heart becomes open. The good person who once saw evil due to unripe conditions eventually sees the full harvest of goodness, not only in external circumstances, but more importantly in the mind that is no longer shaken by conditions. This is the quiet miracle of the Dhamma. It unfolds gradually, faithfully, and without exception, leading all who persevere toward peace and awakening. Dear friends in the Dharma, as we arrive at this closing moment together, let us allow the teaching to gently settle into the deepest layers of our hearts. The words of the Buddha are not meant to remain as ideas drifting in the mind. They are meant to become lived experience, breathed into our daily conduct, reflected in how we speak, how we think, and how we respond to the changing conditions of life. This verse reminds us that the path of goodness is not always immediately rewarded in ways the world can recognize. Yet it is always meaningful, always transformative, and always leading us closer to liberation. When we truly absorb this teaching, our relationship with life begins to soften. We no longer demand that reality conform to our expectations. We learn instead to align ourselves with wisdom, trusting that wholesome causes will inevitably bring wholesome results. Even if the timing remains unseen, this trust is not blind belief. It is born from careful observation, mindful living, and the gradual realization that the Buddha's words are confirmed again and again through our own experience. When faith and understanding walk together, the heart becomes steady and the path becomes clear. Let us remember that every moment of kindness, every act of restraint, every effort to cultivate mindfulness is never lost. Even when circumstances seem unfavorable, these seeds are quietly taking root. They are shaping our character, purifying our intentions, and preparing the conditions for future peace. The Buddha did not promise a life free from difficulty. He offered something far greater. He offered a way to be free within difficulty, to remain unshaken amid change, and to grow in wisdom regardless of what arises. As practitioners, we are invited to continue with gentle diligence. We do not rush the path, nor do we abandon it when challenges appear. We walk step by step, breath by breath, trusting the profound law of cause and effect. In doing so, we honor not only the teaching, but our own potential for awakening. Each of us carries the capacity for clarity, compassion, and freedom. The Dhammapada does not speak to distant ideals. It speaks directly to this life, this mind, and this moment. May we carry this reflection into our daily lives. When we encounter hardship, may we remember patience. When we feel discouraged, may we recall that ripening takes time. When goodness seems unseen, may we continue to plant it anyway, knowing that the harvest will surely come. This is the quiet confidence the Buddha wished to awaken in us. A confidence rooted not in hope alone, but in understanding and practice. As we close, let us dedicate whatever merit has arisen from listening, reflecting, and opening our hearts to the Dharma. May it support our own journey and the journey of all beings. May it contribute to peace in our families, harmony in our communities, and wisdom in the world. Walking this path together, guided by the compassionate teaching of the Buddha, we move steadily toward freedom. Thank you for watching my video. Namalamat Ba. I wish to bring this merit towards all disciples and sentient beings, all of whom will attain Buddhahood. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate your time.